Pneumonia. That's a word that should scare you, and it's something that you should be looking for in your goats during the fall, winter, and spring months. I was able to help my goat Faith through pneumonia. I was able to catch it quickly and was able to treat her because I had all the proper tools in my medicine cabinet, and was able to help her, support her, and get her fully well. So if you have found your goat in this situation, there is hope. Just act quickly, and always remember to have the proper medications and tools on hand so that you can help your goat. But what are the symptoms? Well, you will probably find a goat with a fever. It'll be 104 to 106. There will probably be some nasal discharge. There'll be a moist cough that has, mucus-filled cough that makes it difficult for them to breathe. They might even, if it's gone on long enough, there may even be some signs of anorexia because they haven't been eating, and depression. You'll find them standing off by themselves with their tail drooping, their head drooping, and looking sad and depressed. Interstitial pneumonia can act very quickly. A goat will have a sudden influx of a sudden fever. Their temperature will go up very high, 106, and then it will rapidly drop. And once it's dropped below 100 degrees, their lungs begin filling up with fluid. And once their lungs begin filling up with fluid, it's very painful. They probably won't be laying down anywhere, but if you do find them laying down, you will have to act so quickly, because by that point, it will be very hard to help them. In fact, it is so detrimental to your goat that you could feed your goats in the evening and all will be well, and by morning you can walk out and find a goat dead. It can happen in as little as 4 hours. So as you can see, during the night, it could happen without you even knowing it. It is very quick, and it happens almost immediately. Goats actually have a very hard time regulating their body temperature, especially young kids, but all goats will struggle regulating their temperature. So if you are in an area where there are wide swings in temperature, where it's very hot in the daytime, and then it swings down really low in the evenings, and a lot of times that'll be in the spring. But we just recently in Montana had some days that were in the 50s. It was a glorious, winter days where the sun is shining and it feels so wonderful. But then several days, just in a short period of time, just a day or two later, it was in the single digits, and the feels like temperature was below zero. That was a huge swing in temperature. And your goats can't handle that very well. And because of that, you need to be taking the steps to help your goats to not get pneumonia in the first place. They need to be healthy. They need to be given all the food and the water and the minerals that you're providing them will keep them in a healthy state. But they do not handle the wind and the cold at all. So they need to be provided with a barn or a shelter that will keep them out of the wind, and that will keep them definitely out of the moisture. It is very important to know that a goat with a fever is actually easier to help and treat and bring down that fever than it is if a goat has a low temperature. It's much harder to bring that temperature up to the proper level. So in any case, whether it's a fever or a low temperature, with pneumonia, you need to act immediately before it's too late. So what do you do if you walk out and you find your goat with signs of pneumonia? Like I said, you need to act immediately. Giving them a shot of Banamine will help with inflammation. Fever, it will help reduce the fever. It will help them with the pain of what they're going through. But you also need to be giving them an antibiotic. Then it needs to be given at the proper dosages for the proper amount of time to help your goat through what they're experiencing. And during this time, you will want to give them a warm, dry place. If they don't have one already, they need to be in a very warm, dry place. And you need to be giving them access to feed and water. If they aren't drinking, that is very serious. If they aren't drinking, you need to be drenching them and getting fluids in. Because once they stop drinking, that can wreak havoc even more than the pneumonia, or it will just complicate it from there. If your goat is off feed, You will also need to give them thiamine. That is very important in a goat when they are off feed, and if they're not eating, it's not producing those so important B vitamins, and you will need to give them those B vitamins to help them through this time until they are eating. Pneumonia can be alarming, but you can help your goat through it. One thing that is available, and you may want to consider if this is something that is continually popping up in your goat herd, is to give your goats the pneumonia vaccine. It could give you the peace of mind that you need to not always have to come out to your herd wondering what in the world you're going to find in the morning.